Happy Teacher Tuesday! If unfamiliar, my name's Miss Bree, an early childhood education teacher. Make sure to subscribe by clicking the red button under the screen and clicking on the notification bell to get reminders when new videos are uploaded. Now let's see what's on our schedule for today. You scream, I scream, we all scream for ice cream. Today, we're going on a field trip to make homemade ice cream at Izzy's Ice Cream, known as one of the best stops in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Nice big brownie bite.
I give it a 2 thumbs up.
Yep.
This sweet idea came to me the day I went grocery shopping. After lunch that same day, I made a sundae with my new chocolate ice cream. Toppings of banana, chocolate syrup, and whipped cream. Oh yeah. This ice cream is really creamy and delicious. I wonder how they make their ice cream. What brand was it again? Izzy's Ice Cream, a local brand. From that taste forward, I needed to learn more about Izzy's Ice Cream. Let's get started. We are outside of Izzy's Ice Cream, where we will be learning how to make ice cream. Well, my name's Bree.
Hi, I'm Rob. Nice to meet you.
Meet you. I'm so excited to learn about how ice cream is made.
I'm excited to share with you how ice cream is made. Now, one thing before we go back into the production area, we need to make sure that your hair is contained. So I brought you this hairnet. It matches your dress. So.
Oh, it does.
All right, so let's head on back and I'll give you guys a tour.
Great.
All right, so let's start with the most important thing any kitchen can have. All right.
First, we are learning about cleaning systems.
So this is our dishwashing area. Pretty much the backbone of any kitchen, industrial or otherwise. It's important to make sure that everything is clean. But I think for us, one of the cool things that we do is you'll notice there's 2 towers over there. We make all of our sanitization and cleaning products in-house. We essentially have it's called the ZAP water system. Yeah. And we take a salt water solution, put electricity through it, and it becomes our sanitizer analyte and our degreaser cap light, which is basically Dawn soap or dish soap, but without the suds. Yeah. If you were to drink this, you'd be totally fine. It's completely opposite. So you'll see sort of deconstructed is our pint machine. This is for really busy days when we have to get maybe 1,000 or so pints out the door. Today's a little easier. We're more in the range of less than 100, so we're going to hand pack them here in this freezer. So we've got, you'll also see that we've got our big line of freezers here. As soon as our product gets cold, we want to freeze it as isn't as cold as what we call our blast chillers out front. This holds ice cream at -15 to -10 degrees. Just a good place that most cold trucks or storage can get to move our ice cream. Because once you warm something up, you really don't want to bring it back down to temperature. Yeah. Yeah. So, just if we want to get a glimpse.
Different ice cream flavors on the buttons?
Yeah, so
Poker chip system.
this is what we like to call our Izzy's poker chip inventory system. Because we want to keep the ice cream cold, we want to be able to not open the doors but know what's inside our freezer. So each one of these poker chips represents one of those floor-to-ceiling tubs you saw in there. And if they've got the red tape or a red rim, it means it's a different size. So that way somebody can come to this back wall and know what we've got so that we can put it out front so that we can sell it to some restaurants or something. So yeah, it makes it easier than having to go in and count it every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see a lot of unique flavors on here.
Yes. So what we've got it organized. We've got our core flavors. Every time you come into Izzy's, you will find these 8 or so flavors in the cabinet. Everything else can kind of switch out and come and go.
Yeah, lots of random ones.
And we've got our seasonal one coming up, Trick or Treat, just in time for Halloween.
What's going to be in that?
This year I think I saw a lot of candy, lots of candy. Some Butterfingers, some Kit Kat, some Reese's Pieces, Heath Bar. It's kind of just, we wanted to make it like if you had just reached your hand into somebody's candy bucket and grabbed a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
No Twizzlers though. They get rock hard.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
I do, actually. I'm a huge fan of the Bananas Foster, which is kind of like, it's got bananas and caramel and cinnamon and a nice swirl. It's really delicious.
Oh, sounds good.
Also, the Italian strawberry is really good. It's vinegar and strawberries, so it's got a really tart, refreshing bit. It's really great during the summer. When it gets colder, less so.
And I saw on the website like dinosaur egg, jello salad, cereal milk.
Yeah.
Flavors kids would love.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
How do you come up with these flavors? Who thinks of them?
So some of these flavors, our owners, Jeff and Lara, just kind of have bouncing around in their noggin. But a lot of flavors we actually get from people in the community who submit to our, oh my gosh, our flavor contest that we do every 2 years. So a lot of flavors like, for example,
the Hound Dog.
The Hound Dog, yeah. Or I even think that Jello salad was something that somebody suggested we try, and we made it for the state fair actually.
High quality ingredients.
All right, and then this is our walk-in cooler. This is, you know, refrigerator temperature, or right now the temperature outside. But in here we'll keep all of our ice cream. So ice cream, I didn't know this before I came here. Ice cream comes in a bag. So we have big bags that are about 2.5 gallons that we'll be working with when we make the ice cream. So we've got bags in here, and then other ingredients like, you know, chocolate sauce and caramel that need to be kept cool. You want to take a look? All right.
Oh, I feel like I'm going through a car wash. Now, where do you get the cream and your ingredients?
So we get all of our
the milk bag.
Yeah.
The cream bag.
We get all of our ice cream from Lammer's Dairy out of Appleton, Wisconsin.
Also local.
Yes, local. So they're I'm gonna get this wrong. They're a 4th generation family dairy with several farms that give them milk and cream, and they make our recipe of ice cream. They make it for us there, and then they ship it to us, like I said, in these giant bags.
And looking at the ingredients, milk, cream, sugar, all like
Yes.
ingredients.
Yeah, we really try and keep a simple label so that people know what they're getting. Alright, if you wanna. So now we're out of the cold places, and we'll actually go onto the production floor proper. So if you want to follow me around these crates. So here is one of our ice cream machines. This is my station. Usually it's a little cleaner than this, but today has been chocolate brownie, and you'll see why that has become quite a mess. So what'll
Production floor.
happen is I will pour, when we make the ice cream, we're gonna pour everything down the chute, and then on the inside there's a big rotating blade, like this one right here, but maybe twice the size for this machine.
Churning.
So yeah, this will spin around and it'll churn up the ice cream. While, if you want to take a look here, this metal part wrapped around it is a lot of tubes that put really cold liquid on the outside, and because it's metal, it gets cold really fast. So the ice cream will freeze to this. This blade will come around and spin it and get the frozen parts in the middle and mix it up. So that way you don't get big crystals and a crunchy bite. It keeps it nice and smooth. And then when we're ready for it to come out, we'll open up a gate and it'll slide out into our buckets. So yeah. So if you want to follow me, I'll show you a couple other cool instruments we use here. We of course have microwaves like you do in your home to heat up our chocolate and everything. And then down this way, we've got some of our more high-powered equipment, if you would say.
And kids can do this for birthday parties?
Yeah, absolutely. And for the birthday parties,
Birthday parties.
obviously they won't be using our big professional machine, but they'll get to use our mix and make their own ice cream flavors. So it's a really good opportunity to sort of learn how the process happens. This here is one of our fancy pants immersion blenders. So this is our chocolate brownie base. This is what we're going to be working with today. And so earlier I had to use this to mix all of the cocoa powder, the sugar, and just some chocolate pieces together to make this really thick and gooey sort of substance. Before we put it in the machine, we're going to thin it out with a little bit of our mix, but we'll get a chance to use this and to show you how the rest of it is made.
That sounds delicious.
And of course, the real workhorse of any kitchen, besides the dishwasher, is a coffee machine.
Oh, what do you use for coffee?
Oh, we use it for us.
Oh, I was gonna say that you have one or two flavors.
We have a couple coffee flavors, but
oh yeah, you gotta stay awake.
Yeah.
Making the ice cream.
all right. So yeah, this is our hand washing sink, and once we get you scrubbed in and ready to go, we'll start making ice cream.
Okay. Now, first step, gotta wash my hands. I'm gonna step on the little giant stool. The importance of hand washing.
And probably one of the most important things we do here is wash our hands every day, in and out of the kitchen, as much as we can. Then we will start using the machine, okay?
Yeah.
All right, right this way. We don't have to wash our hands.
Is there a most popular flavor out of all of them?
Oh, certainly. Our salted caramel has been a big hit, but you know, like the classics like your vanilla, your chocolate, and definitely your cookies and cream, people love them, and they're always gonna like them. So yeah, those are our big flavors. All right, so I'm gonna use the blender. You have to go through a whole training for it, so I'll do this part. It will be a little loud, just a heads up. I'm gonna pour in just a little bit of mix to thin this out. And then we'll mix it together so that we're able to pour it into the machine. And then I know I'm done blending when the entire top layer is the same color. Whoops! That can happen. probably just as messy sometimes. So we're gonna head back to the machine and we are gonna get crack-a-lackin'.
It smells so good in here.
It does. A lot. We made pumpkin earlier, so you can smell a little bit of that cinnamon that's in the air. And we got chocolate going, so it's a good combination. All right. So now it's time for you to learn how to make ice cream.
Ice cream making.
Are you excited?
Yes, I'm really excited.
Fantastic. Let's bring this over.
My little giant stool.
Oh, to be sure. Okay. So we're going to start by pouring in the chocolate. So careful, it's a little heavy. If you want help, I am here for you. We're going to pour that in. Slowly. You're probably going to go home with a few extra freckles of chocolate than when you started. Oh yeah, to be sure.
How much ice cream would this make? Like how many of those pints?
So pint-wise, for chocolate brownie, we would get maybe 70 or so out of, this is going to spin us what we call a double batch. So that, yeah, that'll get us about 70, 75 pints because chocolate brownie spins out so much because we're putting so much in. And out of it, we're going to get about a little over 10 gallons. And the big reason we scrape down all the sides is we really want it to taste like chocolate when it's in there.
Every little bit.
So that's that. Now we got to pour in the rest of the ice cream. So you're going to take I'll just take the cap off for you. You're going to hold this into the bag. And then if you can tilt the back up. And if you can loosen up your front hand, it'll flow a little faster.
This is a good workout. Forget the weight so I can start lifting ice cream.
Exactly. Lot of exercise. Very active job. Which is nice because you also get to eat all the ice cream you want, so you gotta balance it out somehow.
Working here, do you get free ice cream?
So, yes, at the end of all of our shifts, we're allowed to take home one ice cream cone or, a certain variation.
Do you switch up the flavor, or do you get the same one?
So I got into a situation where I didn't want to buy new pans, so I kind of stopped. But yes, when I started, it was a new flavor every day. Believe in yourself, machine. Believe. Probably the single most expensive ingredient we use here. 4 ounces, great. Let's pour it in. As an ice cream maker, the last thing you want to pour in is the vanilla, so that way you know you put it in, because you can still see it. And it goes. Great. All right, and then what I need you to do is I need you to hit the spin button. All right, that'll get it started so it doesn't spring up. And then hit this one so that it'll start freezing. All right. So now the machine, as you can tell, that blade we were talking about earlier, it's spinning, it's churning, and now the compressor's kicked on and it's pumping super chilled glycol, basically just a liquid carrier that takes the heat away from the barrel and cools it down. When it comes out of here, it'll be about 0 to 5 degrees. Our piping station, that holds at about 0 to -5. So we try and keep it getting colder and colder. But what we're going to do with this stuff is we're going to put it in its buckets, and then we're going to throw it into the blast chiller, which will drop it down to -40 as fast as we can get it, so that more ice crystals grow and they stay tiny instead of getting really big. Because you can taste the ice crystals. You know, like if you've had ice cream in the freezer for too long and you bring it out and you've got that frost on top, that's because the ice crystals have been allowed to grow really big. So we want to keep it small so it tastes creamy and smooth. All right.
And how long does this take?
For chocolate, because there's a lot of fat and other things in it, it's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to get completely frozen. But that gives us time to measure out the other ingredients we're going to need. Because this isn't just chocolate. This is chocolate brownie.
Do you
buy prepackaged in chop-up. Other things like any of our cookies for our ice cream sandwiches, all of that stuff we bake here. And we use a recipe that was gifted to us by the kind folks over at Birchwood Cafe. So we're gonna need about a pound or 4 cups of chocolate chunks. So just fill this thing as full as we can get it. Alright, great. And then I'll just set it on top here. Everything that's going into the ice cream machine is already going in. We're gonna have to mix this in by hand. Let's get this out of the way and let's get
Brownie pieces.
gonna wait for it to freeze.
So I have a couple ice cream jokes for you.
Oh, you do?
I wrote them down. Ice cream jokes. What did the newspaper say to the ice cream?
I have no idea.
What's the scoop?
Oh no!
How do astronauts eat their ice cream?
I don't know, how do they?
In a float.
Oh. Okay.
And one more. Where does the ice cream go to school?
I don't know, where does it go to school?
Sunday school. Allergy sensitivity.
We do make a dairy-free ice cream. And again, this is a specific formula that only we're using right now. It's a little bit of a coconut base. And it starts out as a powder. We mix it with some water and we come out making a lot of non-dairy flavors. Even in our own facility, we make sure that the nuts that we use are all stored in a place separate from all of the other ingredients.
So if a kid came in with, at my preschool, we have some nut allergies, so they would still be able to eat the ice cream that's not have nuts.
Yes, ideally. And in between anything that goes in here, for example, chocolate brownie has dairy in it. It has gluten in it. So before I could move on to a next flavor, I'd have to clean my machine out, take it apart, wipe off everything, and put it back together before we moved on. So when we're planning a whole day, we try and make sense so that it starts out with the non-allergen stuff goes first while everything's clean, and then as the day progresses, then we start breaking out more of the allergens because, once you get peanut butter out, peanut butter's kind of everywhere, so you want to save it for the last thing.
Oh, well, that's great that you guys are able to serve to every child, especially with the rising of allergies
Yeah.
and sensitivities.
My dad can't do dairy, so he loves that we make a really good dairy-free chocolate and peanut butter. It's huge. You're going to get a crash course in ice cream making. It's already freezing and frozen, you poured it in. And now to open this up, what you got to do is I need you to pull the lever to center and then push the door up a little. Up. And then bring the handle back to the right. There you go.
So it stays like that.
Yep. That'll lock in place, and then we'll fill the tub up about a third of the way. As you can see, the ice cream, because I put freeze on it a little better, or a little more, is a little thicker. So it might be tough to stir in, but overall it'll make for better ice cream. All right, let's cut it off there. Bring it to the right again. Great. All right, so now the first two things you need to do is you need to pour in a couple chocolate brownies, which are right here. So just a handful or so. All right, and we'll put that back, and then I'll trade you. And here's your chocolate chunks. Again, about a sprinkling of those. We do super exact measurements here. All right, and then you're going to take the spatula and you are going to just stir them up as best as you can, make sure that they're nice and incorporated. This is where the real workout begins.
Yeah, get an arm workout.
Yeah. The consistency it comes out is a sort of stiff soft serve. And we want it at that consistency so that if somebody has to pint it, they can actually get a big scoop of it and put it in a cup. Oh. So next up, we're gonna do a little bit of the chocolate sauce, maybe about half a cup or less.
So you have recipes that you've probably memorized.
Yes, yeah. We have recipe cards. Unfortunately, there are secrets, so.
Yeah, that's a great way to know that it's distributed evenly.
And the first sort of thing you learn as an ice cream maker, obviously, I didn't start out super great at this, and so I would get a lot of messages from people who were scooping out front, like, your mix-ins weren't all the way at the bottom, so made it a little hard to scoop, so it's a learning process.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You didn't give up and you kept learning. And here are some flavors that they regularly make. They each have their own drawer. Graham cracker. Oh, my grandma would love, they have black licorice. Dinosaur egg. Cantaloupe, that's a very unique one. Sweet cream. Test tasting.
All right, so we're gonna get some samples scooped out for us because one of our policies in here is we have to have tasted the ice cream before it goes out there. We need to know it's good.
Yeah.
So I got a sample for you and a sample for me, of course, because I need to know. And I'm sure your cameraman wouldn't mind one. Would you? All right.
And
There's yours.
these are what you sell them in?
Yep, those are our pint-sized containers. So I'm gonna show you what it's like to fill one of these up. But yeah, you wanna make sure that you're keeping a nice, clean scoop. How's it taste? Good?
Really chocolatey and creamy.
Ooh. Yeah, so it's good enough to sell, or do I have to give you all the ice cream we made?
I might need another sample to make sure.
Okay, well, what if you went home with this pint? Would that be okay?
That would be awesome.
Sure.
And if other people were interested in getting ice cream, you can order it online and then they can pick it up at the store, right?
Yep, you can order it online and get it picked up at the store, or if you're really adventurous, you can get it shipped anywhere in the United States. Nice big brownie bite.
I'd give it a 2 thumbs up.
Yep. That tastes right.
Yeah, really creamy and chocolatey, and the brownie pieces are really moist.
Yeah. Alright, now that our tubs are full, we've got 2 sort of small steps. We want to make sure that they look nice and clean so that all of our chocolate handprints aren't all over them. We're going to throw them into the freezer. So we're going to go through here. And we got this thing over here. Notice that there's different colored lids.
Yeah.
The different lids tell us that these ice creams are for different purposes.
Oh, the wild.
Yes. And then the white tubs, those are going to go up front. So that's the stuff you get to enjoy when you come to our stores. All right, now that you've made ice cream, let's take a look at around the place where we sell it. All right, obviously this up here, this is what we call our cabinet, where we have 32 different flavors.
Wow.
Yeah. We've got our creme fraiche and our seasonal pumpkin out. You know, that cinnamon you were smelling earlier. But these flavors can can change day by day or even sometimes throughout the day as sort of more popular flavors come and go.
And what's a way for people to know if their flavor is available?
So you can always check on the web at izzysicecream.com. We have a system called Flavor Up.
Yeah. Flavor Up system.
Each of these buckets has a tag that goes with it, and so it'll automatically update and let you know what is live in the cabinet right now.
So you could check it on your phone or on the computer, and they would know if their ice cream, the flavor they wanted, is still available.
Yeah.
When they get here.
And let's say you're a big black licorice fan, and you needed to know when that was coming out.
Oh, yep, like my
Don't know
grandma.
why. Yeah, like
My grandma loves black licorice.
You can also sign up to get an email text within the 3 minutes that it goes up in our cabinet so that you could call in and say, hey, could you set a pint aside for me? And we'd be happy to do that. These are our 32 flavors we got going now. We've got some interesting ones like lemon buttermilk, church elderberry. I'm a big fan of the fruit flavors.
Norwegian chai.
Yeah, Norwegian chai, which is a cup of chai tea spice with a little bit of cardamom toast from a local bakery, Bullet, mixed in.
And here's a non-dairy one.
Yep. And we keep our non-dairies sort of closely packed together, so that way we're not spilling allergens into them or anything like that.
Oh, and the cookies and cream, we talked about that one.
Yep.
Peace Coffee.
Yes. Peace Coffee is a local coffee roaster here, and so they give us, or we buy from them their Guatemalan coffee beans, and we marinate them in the bags themselves, and then after about a few days we take the beans out and we freeze it up, and it's got a nice light coffee flavor. Good news, they all are really good. So these are our different cone sizes. We've got our Izzy cone, which is, obviously we're sort of famous for the Izzy scoop, which is that little scoop you can get on top of any of our flavors. But if you just want that small scoop, these are the cones for you. These are our kitty sizes here, which is, you know, a pretty good size, but you can then get into the waffle cones, which is where we do our single and our double scoops. And then these cones right here, we'll make them in-house in these waffle irons back here. So during the summer, somebody's got to do the job of standing in front of 6 scalding hot waffle irons and making sure that we have enough waffle cones to go into the summer.
So you must have to fold them up, press them, and then fold them while they're hot?
Yeah, they use a special tool that helps them take them off and roll them, so that as they cool, they solidify, or they harden into the right shape.
Distribution.
We sell through over 50 different grocery stores within the Twin Cities, the co-ops and all of that. So that's where you'll find our pints. And that's kind of, right now, as a business, where we're focused on is making sure that more grocery stores will carry our pints. So that's kind of the dream moving forward. But you can also find our ice cream in, again, over 50 different restaurants that use us for dessert, either just a scoop itself, or Pizza Luce will sell you a pint with their, to deliver with their pizza. So that's a really cool thing. We've also got our Izzy Pops, which are fun little popsicle treats, covered in chocolate on a stick, like any good state fair item should be. We have our ice cream sandwiches, and below it we have our Izzo cups, which is a nice little single serving way to enjoy our flavors.
Yeah, like a child serving size.
We also have cakes that are decorated and ready to get your name on them, ready to go at a moment's notice. We've also got some cake that people are going to pick up later. So if you want to make your own sundaes at home, we sell some toppings for you, and not just the ice cream itself.
I know these awesome t-shirts you sell on your website, and hats. Shirts and apparel.
You know, they're the same shirts that the people who work here are going to wear, so you can feel like you're a part of the Izzy's team.
The wrap-up interview. Well, thank you so much for showing me around the kitchen and making that delicious chocolate brownie ice cream.
I'm happy to do it. I love this kind of stuff. So yeah.
So a few questions I had was, what is the story behind Izzy's ice cream?
So Izzy's Ice Cream started with a husband and wife duo, Jeff Summers and Lara Hamill. They decided, Jeff was a teacher, Lara was a lawyer, and together they decided that they wanted to do a little something different with what they had going on. So part-time they started up the shop in 2001 over in St. Paul. They just like, we're gonna make ice cream. They read a book about it. They found a space. They wanted to make Marshall Avenue kind of a place to be. And they said, we're gonna start selling ice cream. And that's what they did. And that's kind of how we got here. 2013, we built this building you see around us here in Minneapolis so that we could up the production and then also have like a small footprint here in Minneapolis that you could come to if you wanted to.
And I wonder, how did the name Izzy's? Because none of the owners' names are Izzy's.
That's true.
I'm wondering how the name Izzy is.
So the way that the name Izzy's came up is both of them wrote down separately a list of 15 different possible names that they would want. And on Lara's list was the name Isabella's, and on Jeff's list was the name Izzy's, named after a board game he would use in the classroom. And so they took those two, which were the only two similar ones on a list of 15, and they're like, well, I guess it's Izzy's. So that's how it all started.
Awesome. And there's 2 locations,
Yes.
St. Paul and Minneapolis. Is there any plans about expanding, like whether it's in Minnesota or even outside?
As far as our own storefronts go, I think we just want to keep it at the 2 and keep focused on making those really, really great. But we want to take our pints and make sure that those start to spread out sort of in different grocery stores throughout the Midwest and then nationwide ideally.
As kitchen lead, what do you do?
They call me a kitchen crew leader. So it's sort of my job. My main job is still making the ice cream. But on top of that, I'm in charge of training new staff that come in over the summer. I'm in charge of making sure that we open and make sure that the production facility is clean when we start, and that the production facility is clean when we put it away at the end of the day. Whatever odd and end job comes up, I do my best to make sure that the other people in the kitchen who aren't the leaders don't have to worry about it, so that they can do the best job they can do.
Who are your customers?
So our customers are a lot of, as we had talked about sort of off camera, a lot of the people that live around the stores, the community at large, and some people will make this a destination, or people who used to live in Minnesota will order our ice cream out. I know that I had gotten married just about a year ago, and I brought the whole wedding party here to have a scoop instead of a wedding cake.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Popular time of year, I'm guessing summer.
Yes, absolutely.
But you want to eat ice cream all year round.
Absolutely. So we are open year-round. Our big popular days are the summer holidays, your 4th of July, your Memorial Day, your Labor Day, and especially here in Minneapolis, Aquatennial is a big deal, and people will come out for that.
You mentioned the People's Flavor Award?
Yes.
And that's a big community event.
Correct. So every 2 years we do a People's Flavor Contest where we get submissions, and I mean hundreds of the submissions come in, and Lara and some of the management team sort of filter those down into 24 different flavors, and we put up tents out back, and you can come and check out all of these new flavors that maybe your neighbors or your friends made, and you can help us vote on which one we should keep around here in the cabinet. And some of them, like Irish Moxie or Midnight Snack, which is graham cracker, chocolate, and peanut butter, have really stuck around to become some real famous staples here at Izzy's Ice Cream.
What attracts kids to come here?
Well, one thing is, ice cream pretty much sells itself to a kid. So when kids come here, they can order a kitty scoop or an Izzy scoop, something that's their size. And we've got great flavors like bubblegum, cotton candy, we have dinosaur egg, and other, we like to keep an assortment of just kid-friendly flavors, green apple, and all that kind of stuff, so that they can order something that they want and they're not getting too much of it, or they can get as much as they want. All of our staff is super friendly. They're really nice. They make sure that the kid is able to order for themselves, and they show them, you know, this is a big scoop and this is a kiddie scoop. So do you want this? And, you know, we do that kind of stuff.
And I see you guys let them sample them.
Oh, yes. So a fun story is Jeff had taken a class on ice cream and gelato making, which is Italian ice cream. It's the basis of how we make our ice cream. But the one takeaway he learned from the class is that in order to sell frozen treats, you have to do two things. You have to smile and you have to let people sample.
Oh.
So, fun fact, you can ask for as many samples as you want. And actually that's why we do the Izzy scoop on top. So when you order a single scoop from us or a double scoop, you can get an Izzy scoop on top, which is any flavor you want, just tiny, maybe an ounce or so. So that way you can try something new without feeling like you're asking too much or being rude. It's your chance to try something or mix a flavor up.
And that way someone doesn't order it and know they don't like it.
Yeah.
Try it. And do you have a special little scoop for that?
We do. It's called the Izzy scoop. It's got a purple handle and it's about ping pong ball size or a little less, and it goes on top of our ice cream and our ice cream only.
Well, thank you so much for showing me around Izzy's ice cream. And teaching us at home how we make ice cream.
Well, thanks for stopping by. I like to share what I do. Because sometimes when you say you make ice cream, people just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All the little details that goes into it and all the hard work. The customers. How long have you been going to Izzy's ice cream?
We go to the Izzy's also
The St. Paul location.
St. Paul, yeah. And I've been going there for 15 years.
And what do you like about it?
Well, I'm a fan of chocolate. And this is just the best chocolate.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. And I see you have you even have the chocolate Izzy scoop on top.
You know, according to me, there's no other ice cream other than chocolate. My husband feels differently, of course, and so it's just wonderful ice cream.
Oh, that's awesome. And your name is?
Nancy.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm actually from Denver, Colorado, here for a meeting, and saw reviews and looked it up online, and came here twice yesterday, and this is our third trip.
Oh, awesome. What flavors?
I got the cookie crunch with strawberry.
Oh, nice. So how long have you guys been coming
I came in
fun. Yeah. That's awesome. Do you guys have a favorite flavor that you like?
salted caramel.
Salted caramel. How about you? Cotton candy. Cotton candy. That sounds awesome. What a fun and delicious field trip that was. What a dream to learn how to make homemade ice cream. Thank you so much to Izzy's Ice Cream for letting me come by and visit. Everyone was so helpful and so supportive. You really get a sense of community being there. Make sure to stop by and experience it yourself in one of their Minnesota locations in Minneapolis or St. Paul. Or visit their website online at izzysicecream.com. Well, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe by clicking on the red button under the screen, and I will see you next time on Teacher Tuesday.